Hi, Scott Orland with CINEMA-Magazin. If you were one of the lucky people who got to see District 9, I'm going to introduce you to the director of that movie, Neill Blomkamp, who now has a great new movie called Elysium. How does your mind work, your imagination? I mean, you take us to worlds that we think might be right outside our door, but they're really kind of futuristic.
Right. Well, that part of it is what I find really interesting, which is trying to show the audience something which is obviously not real in the most realistic way that I can possibly create. So my goal is ultimate realism of the ridiculous.
Now, and the concept of Elysium is that the super wealthy have basically developed their own little planet that kind of swirls around Earth, and that's where they get to go, and they're disease-free, and then the rest of the world in disease and poverty has to live
They
here.
built an escape hatch that they can get to because they don't want to be troubled with Earth's issues anymore.
But let's just talk about issues. How much do you want a movie like this to facilitate conversation?
Well, you know, to be honest, people always ask me that, but I never go about trying to make these kinds of films where I want it to be something that gets debated and sort of socially, you know, is conscious. And I feel like these topics interest me, and then I make the film for myself. You know, directors should make the film that they want to watch. If you go sit in the theater and it's like, what is the thing that would inspire you the most? You try to make that. For me, it's this. And people talking about it is like a byproduct. It's something that, I guess it's cool. It's not my goal, though.
But to have Matt Damon and Jodie Foster inhabit these characters, what does lending having major Hollywood stars to your film? Does it give it an easier audience recognition factor? Or?
Yeah, well, in the case of Elysium, the reason I wanted to do it was because the film, I wanted the film to be much bigger in scale than District 9, and even the shots, even the way the shots are composed is just more epic. Everything is meant to be a little bit bigger, a little bit more substantial. And I thought, you know, originally I didn't want to use any kind of real A-list actors that people recognized because I thought it would hurt the realism. But then when I realized the goal was actually this epic, massive scale, I thought that those names actually just enhance that. It makes it more of a spectacle. It makes it more of an event. So it works in its favor, and that's excluding how talented they are, you know, which obviously is the main reason.
And a last question for you is, you shot the Elysium part up in Vancouver, and then the Earth part in Mexico, and I understand you were actually in slums. I mean, you were actually in
some pretty dodgy
areas. So how does a filmmaker dance around environments?
Well, you know, you go to those. I mean, we did pick very bad environments to be in terms of crime and poverty and pollution, and we chose the worst areas we could find. And that's unusual for a Hollywood big budget film. You'll see that more in independent kind of lower budget stuff. So the cool thing is, along with that comes a lot of security and a lot of, you know, you have the resources to kind of do it in a safe, controlled way. But it doesn't make it any easier, though. You know, whether you're wearing like masks because of pollution or you have like threats of crime, like it's hard going.
But it'll be gritty and real. Neill, I can't thank you enough.
Yeah, thank you.
Really appreciate
Cool.
it. And this is Scott Orland. Until next time.
Cheers.